What types of skills will set you apart as the ecosystem continues to change, and what can you do to differentiate yourself, right? Change is one of these things that is not always what we like, but certainly one of the most inevitable things. The idea for thousands of years, change is inevitable. And I've seen this shift over the past, say, decade that I've been running Home Team or making online courses, and I'm sure you've observed some of the same. Between it used to be a lot of the value was, right, if you had programming skills, if you could build things that made the computer do certain things, that was initially where the value was, right? Say back to 2015. And then over time, through improved tools, through just sheer abundance of people who have those technical skills, can develop the ability to make the computer do things, that the importance has actually kind of gone up a tier of abstraction from can you make it do that to answering when and why and how should you make it do that, right? It's less about the implementation and more about a higher level of execution or abstraction. Now, specifically, I want to go beyond that. And there's a graph I'm going to pull up. And granted, this is from 2023, so 2 years ago, but still helps show the trend I want to kind of observe here. Back in 2016, right, proficiency in STEM was the most crucial skill required for the workforce at the time. Pretty easily to see how it has changed, and now it's near the bottom. Again, this is back why my first video course was by almost 400,000 people on Udemy now is Code Your First Game. It's how to program a game. It's kind of a classic little retro Atari looking style gameplay experience because people's curiosity was they wanted to know how to do that thing. Now a lot of people have that skill. And if you're going to differentiate yourself, it's what can you do with it? And again, this is not coincidentally. You'll see the opposite arc direction for time management skills and ability to prioritize. This is why my best-selling course from last year, right, is CompleteEveryProject.com, which has got, instead of getting in the weeds about how to do details, because you'll figure out between you and Google and Stack Overflow, and if you're using ChatGPT or whatever, you can find solutions to how to do things increasingly, right? And this is, again, I've seen the same shift of what people used to use Home Team for, was they'd meet with me over programming questions, meet with me over how to use the basics of Blender. Increasingly, there's such an abundance of incredibly good resources, answers, example code, etc. They don't need my help for that. Where they do need my help is this time management skills and the ability to prioritize. Or let's take a few looks down, right? Next underneath it, ability to work effectively in team environments. Again, this is one of the things that differentiates us. That is more valuable than it's ever been and differentiates us because a lot of people do not have that team environment experience. Ability to communicate effectively. This is also, once again, one of these pieces where no matter how much you read about it, study it off YouTube, ChatGPT can't actually fix it for you. It involves having to communicate with other people. This is a case where, especially for people in our groups, in Home Team Game Dev, where they're making freeware practice projects, just that nobody's selling anybody else's work, but you get to make whatever you want with support and teammates and so on. They're especially the people who lead projects, so they're doing the weekly updates, right? Our rhythm is when someone's leading a project, they got their prototype ready. Every single week, they're doing the updates. Here's what happened the past week. Here's the current shape of it. Coming up, here's what we're focusing on based on our schedule. I help them build that plan as well. But that practice at communicating their ideas and talking through the process at an internal level of kind of not even polished, but just practical fundamentals and functional ability to communicate differentiates workers in the workforce in a way of technology doesn't solve it, YouTube doesn't solve it, nothing short of literally working with other people, having to communicate towards some practical end. This is also where, and again, I'm not just trying to sell you on Home Team, it's part of why I've designed it the way that I have to be useful for people. It is because your communication is practical. It is to achieve some end. Everyone on that project, yourself especially as the lead, wants this game to come together. The communication arises because of actual, natural, real confusions, uncertainty, disagreements on potential visions and opportunities, and questions that come up. That is the kind of practice that, again, is a crucial skill required in the workforce of today. Next after that, willingness to be flexible, agile, and adaptable to change. Once again, this is the sort of thing that, and let's say Home Team's not your fit. Maybe you don't even care about video games. You somehow caught my channel because of something else I said in some other video. That's great. CompleteEveryProject.com, again, is the video course where I've tried to bottle the best ideas for this in a way that also applies to how I've run my YouTube or run my podcast or made my different audiobooks, ebooks, other kind of digital products in a way that generalizes. So whatever your other side interest or hobby might be, that ability to be flexible, agile, and adaptable to change. Certainly we get it in Home Team, we get it on deadlines, we get it with support and help to turn to. But also, it is the kind of skill that can be taught. But part of what also, again, makes this a crucial skill required for workers that differentiates people in a way that proficiency in STEM just doesn't anymore, is whereas a lot of people know to go out looking for, I want to learn programming skills. I want to learn how to implement, want to be able to get the machine to do this thing in Unreal or Godot or Unity. And those are still useful. Don't get me wrong. They're still useful. The difference is a lot of people can do that too. What a lot of people don't even think to look for is how to learn to be flexible, agile, and adaptable to change. It's not as obvious to everybody that that's a learnable skill, right? They fall in the category we call soft skills as opposed to hard skills, which doesn't mean that it's easier. What it does mean is it might be harder to prove or demonstrate than, I can solve the math problem. I can achieve this result in chemistry. But this is what's great about having a project-based approach and home team. Unlike if someone takes a video course and maybe have a certificate of completion, you really don't know, can they apply it? Once you have built a game, right? And we've got over 200 games we've released on time, all longer term schedules, 3 to 6 months, team remote projects and home team game dev. All of those games released on time in a way that achieved what they set out to do in terms of from the pitch. You can hold them up side by side. Here's what we said we're going to do. We made the best version that we could by the date we said we're going to do it by. That is proof of being flexible, agile, and adaptable to change. So these are specifically skills I've helped dozens of people do over the years with hundreds of projects of proof as evidence that this is what we do. This is how we help people. And even though I think some people still get the wrong idea in their heads that I'm a programming teacher, that's not most of what I do anymore. It's not most people need from me. I still walk them through it if they have coding questions. But for the most part, again, we can find those answers other ways where we are really making a difference to people. Not just in terms of their workforce positioning, but in terms of their personal development, in terms of their growth, in terms of becoming the people they want to be, in terms of having the skills to build the games that excite them, that got them into this in the first place, that make them feel like they're an asset when they join a team at a jam or something else because they come to it with the ability for, I can help spot what needs to get done. I can help untangle. I can help coordinate. I can help communicate effectively. I can help manage our time. I can help prioritize. I can communicate. I can be flexible, agile, and adaptable. Those are valuable skills to us in or out of workforce. But those are the major things that literally Home Team is designed to help people with. I hope you'll decide to join us. You can find out more at hometeamgamedev.com. And you will see there, right, on the application process, after you've got to go through the initial which way are you using this kind of group, on the application process, if dues are an issue, if financially you're not in a spot to be able to pay for the cost, there's a checkbox to check for you would need to be sponsor supported. That is there for that reason. That is what it's for. It's partly supported indirectly through Patreon at a subsidized rate. You literally pay nothing, no payment proof, no nothing. That is what that's there for. It's an important part of how our community can function. That said, if you're able to cover your dues, it is a professionally run group. We have professionally backgrounded trainers. It is my main work supporting and facilitating this group, meeting sometimes 20 hours a week with members of our groups who are project leads, members with questions, people trying to navigate their portfolio, their resumes, their networking questions, being strategic about their positioning, thinking backwards from where they're trying to go in terms of, if not their career, the kind of games they want to build someday, or the kind of skills that they want to hone, and then working from that to what kind of games can we make that best serve what that person wants to get out of it so they can very efficiently knock it out. It's a whole other topic for another day, but I think a lot of people get the wrong idea that if you just spend time doing something, you're going to naturally wind up how you want to be, the place you want to be, and that's just not the shape of the universe, right? Instead, what we can be much more concrete about, because I've seen the pattern across hundreds of developers over the years, is I can spot for you what are the actual milestones between you and where you're trying to get, and how can we efficiently pick projects, pick roles, create tasks on releasable games that get released that help demonstrate and help you develop to become the person you want to be. Anyway, that's enough of it. Again, when we commercial today, if nothing else, take this with you, right? Proficiency in STEM, it's still important, it's still valuable. Don't say no to learning programming and tactical hard skills and so on. But it is no longer a differentiator. As of about a couple years ago, it is increasingly not nearly as going to be most moving your life forward as time management skills and ability to prioritize, ability to work effectively in team environments, ability to communicate effectively, willingness to be flexible, agile, and adaptable to change. And again, if you decide that Home Team Game Dev isn't maybe a fit for what you're looking for, I get it. It's not fit for everybody. Not everybody's at that level of seriousness about finishing the games they start and taking on bigger projects or wants to have teammates and support. That's all right. CompleteEveryProject.com is my video course where I've bottled that. You can often catch that on sale. Udemy runs promotions different times a year. Anywho, hope you'll find one or the other can help you succeed in these ways that are crucial skills, not just for the workforce, but really for life going into the future as things continue to change around us. That's it for today. I'll catch you all next time. Bye for now.